Here's a look at how I surfed an invisible wave in the sky. I took a glider to 18,000 feet. I did make a few mistakes, flew a bit too far away, but I made it back to the airfield. Flying in winter in the Australian high country near Canberra is cold and gusty. Strong winds hitting the mountain ranges pushes air up tens of thousands of feet into the atmosphere. It is amazing for gliding, but creates bumpy and sometimes scary takeoffs. I was chasing these red and purple lines of wave lift that show up on the gliding forecasting program SkySight. Like in the ocean, underneath a wave there is horrible tumbling forces. My glider was getting tossed up 20 feet in the air within a few seconds, then dumped back down again. But then at 6,000 feet, like I was caught in an invisible tractor beam, I was suddenly surrounded by silky smooth rising air. I knew I'd finally caught the wave.
Here is life at flight level 135, about 13,500 feet. There's my oxygen reminding me to breathe. Get it back up my nose. There we go.
So I was climbing well, but that strong wind from the west was pushing me out of the wave. I needed to track into the wind to stay in the middle of the lift.
To keep the footsies warm at about 15,000 feet. It's very cold, probably about minus 15 degrees outside. So I've got to have the booties on. There is Rick and Kat climbing with me at flight level 165, climbing at 6 knots. That is the view coming up to flight level 180. Can't go any higher now. The nose cannula can only give me enough oxygen for flight level 180. So I'll turn around, pick up some speed, lose a little bit of height, and go cruising through the wave. How good.
Now here is where I made mistakes. I turned west, but I should have headed more to the south and also maintained a higher speed to punch through the sinking air. Instead, I slowly floated down without much purpose. I lost 7,000 feet of height in only a few minutes. I was gliding like a brick.
When air goes up, it must also come down somewhere. Don't fly in the minus 10 knots of sink.
I was hoping to find another band of wave lift, but I never reached it. So 50 kilometres from the airfield, I made the disappointing decision to turn around. But I was lucky I did. There was a thick layer of cloud at 9,000 feet. I had enough height to fly home just above this cloud, but if I'd been lower, I would have needed to dive below the cloud, which would have left me close to the ground, a long way from home. But with a massive tailwind, my speed across the ground was above 250 kilometres per hour. I could make it back to the airfield with height to spare. I was able to relax a bit.
There it is. There's the lift again. Surfing an invisible wave is amazing. Look at the view. It's almost a religious experience. It is like being a bird. And I'm not just going funny in the head because I'm hypoxic. I've got plenty of oxygen.
As I descended below 7,000 feet, I fell back into the rough air.
Oh yeah, I am definitely below the wave and now back in the rotor, where it is bumpy and horrible. Down here it is a washing machine.
Time to land the glider before my feet got any colder.
Bunyan traffic, glider, Delta, Golf, Alpha, joining, right hand downwind, runway 27, Bunyan.
On the base leg of my landing circuit, you can see that strong wind was pushing me away from the runway. It goes to show you need plenty of spare height in a glider on a windy day. So a great 2-hour, 20-minute flight, but it could have been a bit longer if I'd read the weather better. Lessons learnt for next time. So like and subscribe for more gliding adventures.